Thank you for taking my question, Minister Miller. As the Minister of Refugees, I would imagine you're aware of the fundamental international legal principle that refugees have the right to return to their homeland. The State of Israel, our close ally, has deprived Palestinians of this right for decades. It is currently bombing refugees in Gaza and Jenin refugee camp. And this government has not imposed a single sanction of any kind, even an arms embargo. It has, however, done that in numerous other cases. For example, Russia, Syria, Iran, and on and on. Isn't it fair to say that you are subjecting Israel to a far lower standard than you are to these other states, and that you're basically giving it a free pass when it's eminently open to you to sanction Israel for its violations of the fundamental right of refugees?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, and why is that, sir? What is so special about Israel that it doesn't deserve to be sanctioned, but all these other states should be sanctioned? You've even sent weapons to Ukraine. Here, you're allowing weapons to be sold to the oppressor. And you expect Canadians to believe that your position is morally consistent on these two conflicts?
I think you're making a point about what you think is this moral equivalency.
Okay, well, I'm happy to be educated, sir.
That Israel has the right to defend itself.
Actually, no, it's an occupier. It's an occupier, and that's a misstatement. I'm also a lawyer, not just a journalist. That's a misstatement of the law. It's an occupier.
But you don't think Israel has the right to defend itself?
Not in the sense that it's fighting a state, because it isn't fighting a state. It's an occupier, so it has to take. No, sir. I'm explaining to you as a lawyer. Under international law, it has a duty to take care of the occupied population. And that places serious constraints on what it can do. But even if it was fighting a state, it has clearly violated the laws of war. It admitted to putting two 2,000-pound bunker-busting bombs into Jabalia refugee camp to kill one Hamas fighter. That is a flagrant violation of international law. Flagrant violation. And Mr. Engler, who is a journalist, properly pointed out to you that there's an international human rights consensus that Israel's committing apartheid. Why don't you, in your government, impose some kind of a sanction? Anything, at least to make a point that you're not just full of hot air.
I think you're making a point on me. Right?
No, I am making a point, but I'm offering you an opportunity to respond. Sir, this isn't about me. And what you said earlier, you said we discredit the cause. You have no business talking on behalf of the cause, because you, frankly, are not a...
So you've hijacked this press conference to make...
You're the Minister of Refugees. Sure. I came here to ask a question about Palestinian refugees. And it's not like we get many opportunities to do this, Mr. Miller. Okay, we have to take whatever chances are presented to us. Are you going to answer questions about refugees in your capacity as minister?
You made a point.
Well, I'm asking you why you haven't sanctioned Israel. What is the difference between Israel's human rights violations and those of these other states?
What would you have us do?
Well, why don't you impose an arms embargo?
What would you have us do? Keep going.
An arms embargo.
I'm sure that doesn't stop there.
Why don't you expel Israeli diplomats? Why don't you stop giving?
Expel Israeli diplomats.
Correct.
Okay,
Why don't? But well, you asked me. What can you do? This is one measure. Okay. So your government. Well, I'll be happy with any one of these things, but I'll give you other examples. Your government gives preferential tariff treatment to products produced in Israel settlements, even though they are, according to your own government, a violation of the Fourth Geneva Convention. Why don't you stop giving them preferential tariff treatment? Your government allows these products to bear Product of Israel labels. I've been litigating a case for 5 years against your government that insists that they should be able to use Product of Israel labels, even though your government admits the settlements are illegal.
That's 3 things you want us to do against Israel.
Okay, so what, you want more?
What would you like us to do to Hamas, a terrorist organization?
Well, sanction, do what you've done. Sanction Hamas, condemn Hamas.
Hamas, a terrorist organization.
Well, why not? You've done that to other terrorist organizations.
Maybe you want to take them to court.
I'm sorry?
Maybe you want to take them to court.
I'm happy for you to take them to court. I'm happy for you to take them to court.
What's the third thing? You got 3 things. What's the 4th thing you want us to do to Israel? Keep going.
I'm not talking about doing this to Israel. This is not about doing this to Israel. This is about defending the human rights of Palestinians, sir.
I think this is...
Okay, but I've given you examples. Why don't you... No, instead of you, I've given you plenty of examples now. So I'm asking you, why won't you do any of these things?
Defend itself, but not at any cost.
No. I'm saying that it's right to defend itself.
I'm not sure you want the disaster to end. I think you want to make a point.
Oh my God! You really won't answer my simple question.
You haven't asked the question. You've made a point.
Is this what they train you in liberal school, that you go on the attack when you're asked a question you can't answer? I've given you examples. Why won't you do any of these things?
I'm sure you have a whole list.
Why won't you do? Yes, and you won't do any of them. I'm asking you why. Can't you answer that question, sir? You know what? If you answer my question, I'll stop.
No, I mean,
Why won't you do any of these things? I'll stop after you answer.
why don't you tell me the list of things you want?
I just gave it to you.
And I can give you a complete answer.
Okay, I'm
Are
done.
you done? After
I can't
that,
think of anything else off the top of
Is
my
that it?
head.
Just 3 things?
No, I mentioned 4.
Okay.
If there's no question about le projet en tant que tel, if there's no question about the project,